guys, Martin, aka Dolan here with another review video, this time of one of the biggest tournaments in Bulgaria, the A1 Gaming League. Now, I decided to do something different this week, and compared to the last video, we're gonna actually go through what happened in one of the biggest esport tournaments here in Bulgaria. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, I am a Bulgarian, so I'm really interested in getting to know what actually happened in my home country in terms of esports and how the scene develops. And in the last couple of years, I have been following the biggest tournament here that we have, which is, as I said, the A1 Gaming League. And this time I decided to actually do a video to help the league develop, to make it more famous, I guess, right? Because outside of Bulgaria, no one knows about what is happening in terms of esports development in our country. So this week happened the close qualifiers, but let me first tell you about the format. So I'm going to show you actually a picture. There are several stages of this tournament. The very first one is the A1 Gaming League Open Qualifiers, which are happening this month. Out of every qualifier, we're going to have 4 teams qualifying for the main event. And the main event is going to have 16 teams battling in a Swiss format. For those of you who don't know, this is the normal Counter-Strike tournament, which has 16 teams competing against each other, and those that get 3 wins qualify for the next round, and those who obviously get 3 losses are eliminated from the tournament. And the idea is that after this phase, we have 8 teams that actually proceed to the next stage, which is called the A1 Gaming League international stage. So our 8 teams will actually go against international teams from other regions, probably, I guess, from Austria, from, I don't know, Germany or whatever. I honestly still don't know which international teams, apart from the Bulgarian representatives, would be competing. And this year we actually have another level. So we have one additional stage after the international stage, which is the A1 Gaming League Championship bracket. This is actually where the best teams from all the stages will compete, or rather, the qualified teams after the international stage will compete against each other to have a champion of the tournament, right? It's quite interesting. I think even in the open qualifiers, we have seen some good teams, right? I'm going to start with showing you the 24 teams which we had in the very first qualifiers. So as you can see, the tournament is happening on Faceit, which is absolutely normal. The open qualifiers are closed and they are not streamed. So I'll try to bring some content in terms of me showing you some demos of the matches. We will actually analyze, cast them, whatever, you know. Just for you to get a better idea of the Bulgarian teams participating. Honestly, when I was looking before the open qualifier, when I was looking at the teams, I thought that we have some really good teams. Like, for example, we had Ambidex, you know, coming in with players like Slazy, Nikki, which is the 173rd best player in Bulgaria in terms of Faceit. You know, his statistics are quite nice. 1.25 KD. Yeah, headshot ratio not on point, I guess, but still some good win rates here and there, like Asian 61%, you know, most played matches on Inferno with 59% win rate out of 391 games. We also had some other cool players on that roster, right? And you will see why I'm actually focusing your attention on that roster. Some other good teams were obviously Tensei, One Hit Wonder, Beyond Possible. We had Maze Esports and Ouya Gaming, but we're going to be talking about those teams a little bit later. So let's see what actually happened throughout the very first open qualifiers. So all the 24 teams were put into a really nice bracket. As you can see, some of the teams were actually qualified directly for round 2. Honestly, I don't know why, but I guess it's fine. So in the very first one, Arelage Uvanata started directly from round 2. We had Huntpeak taking down Low Washite. Obviously, Low Washite was not one of the favorites coming into the qualifier. I think Huntpeak actually got the better out of them. Um, Obviously, One Hit Wonder, one of the favorites for this tournament, started from round 2. Beyond Possible as well. I think like the majority of the good teams started from round 2, and most of them actually made it to top 4, which was the point where all the teams wanted to be, so that you can move to the main phase, to the Swiss phase. So here we didn't see that many surprises. Arelayo Vanata were better than Huntpeak. One Hit Wonder um, showed better on the day against Borkagrum. Beyond Possible winning easily against We Can't Win. Tensei also doing a great job against Full Shock. As you can see, Full Shock actually beat Kuchetata in the very first round. SB Pro, they tried their best, but it was simply not enough against Bistop. Yeah, Ambidex, the team that I actually told you about earlier, moved forward. Oya Gaming and Maze Esports. So the majority of the good teams actually made it to round 3. And if you wanted to actually qualify for the next stage, you had to reach round 4. So this is where it got a little bit more interesting, right? So One Hit Wonder actually made it in the first game. They played Inferno, and it was a really close match, actually. I was really surprised when I was watching this match, because I felt like One Hit Wonder were a little bit more solid than Arelago Vanata, but the losers actually put up a decent fight, I would say, right? And you can actually see, in terms of stats, that the game was clearly better for One Hit Wonder, and I still cannot say why they slumped that much, right? So when you look at the raw stats, you can see that obviously Sounder had a great game, finishing with 27, 3 and 16, a KD ratio of 1.69, high headshot ratio, right? So also for Plazda, the game was good, going 23, 6 and 19. We had Dencho finishing 19, 3 and 17, right? So the majority of the players that are actually got more, or at least near to 20 kills. And on the other side, for Arelage Vanata, things were not looking that good. You can see in terms of KD ratio, they only have one player, which is Levski NTC, that actually got a KD of 1, right? And this is like the minimum line. And yeah, they put up a decent fight, but I felt like One Hit Wonder could have closed the game way earlier than they did, right? And not having to play the full 30 rounds on Inferno. So yeah, they were the very first team to actually qualify for the next round, moving into top 4 of the Open Qualifier. Then the next match was actually Beyond Possible against Tensei. I felt like this was one of the key matchups for the tournament, because both teams were actually quite good, and both teams had a decent chance into making it into top 4. I think it was a pity that they actually had to face each other a little bit earlier in the Open Qualifier, in just round 3. But it was a fun game. Obviously, when you look at some of the names coming in from Beyond Possible, we have Spellen, which is a really known player here in Bulgaria. He actually used to play, I would say professionally, even though it's kind of like tier A tournaments, right? Not on the highest level. We have obviously Lockin J, Raftu, Vilthrax, and Saiku. And yeah, Beyond Possible, as you will see later, they actually won the tournament, and they showed a really, really, really decent performance. I'm just gonna quickly show you the scoreboard. You can see just in terms of numbers, like Spellen went absolutely crazy. This guy is really good, and this is one of the players to watch coming into the Swiss phase of A1 Gaming League, right? Obviously, 28 kills, 3 assists, 13 deaths, KD ratio of above 2, like he went nuts. Raftu always also showing a really good performance, 24, 2 and 14. Again, solid KD. Yeah, maybe their headshots ratios are not that good, but when you look at the multi kills, like 2 multi kills, 2 triple multi kills for Spellen with 2 quad kills, 1 quad kill for Raf2 with 3 triple kills. Also, the rest of the team having a, I would say, a really good supportive performance. Made this team actually really good, and I'll definitely keep an eye on them moving forward to the next stage. Now after this match we actually moved to the bottom part of the bracket. We had Pitstop against Ambidex. Yeah, Pitstop didn't have any problems against Ambidex on Nuke. It was just a slaughter, right? I mean, Ambidex were actually destroyed and they didn't have a good performance. Goshuzvera, really good. This guy is also another player to have an eye on because he participated in last year's tournament under the team Zver name. Obviously there in the groups he finished 4th with his team, but this time I feel like he is hungry to actually prove himself, to show up on the Bulgarian stage and actually play the best Counter-Strike of his life. You can see he finished 19, 4 and 10 with a KD ratio of 1.9. Crib had an insane game. Like, this guy is also another player to keep an eye on. 18, 0 and 6, a KD ratio of 3. I think this is actually the highest KD ratio we had in the Open Qualifier, so definitely the whole Pitstop team had a huge performance. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the first place, but still an insanely solid performance coming out of the team that said that it will play just for fun. If you were looking at Nico's stream, he actually was saying that this tournament is, or rather this Open Qualifier, will be just for fun, right? So nothing that serious. And then the final matchup, Ouya Gaming against Maze Esports, 11-16 on Inferno. You will actually see Maze in our next video over the second Open Qualifier, as they played there as well, but this time it was not their day. Obviously Ouya Gaming were the better team. You see Ventiswav, 37 kills, the highest kills we had in a single game in the first Open Qualifier. Insane performance. Like, this guy is the 4th player to keep an eye on coming into the main tournament. He's really insane. He put a KD ratio of 1.95. Most MVPs in that particular game. We also have Hypnotic here having a really decent performance that particular game. The rest of the team not doing that well, but well, in the end of the day they won the game, so it's absolutely fine. Okay, so now we'll move into the last 3 matches which we had on the day. So we had One Hit Wonder going into beyond, facing Beyond Possible, and Pitstop against Ouya Gaming. So as you can see, in the end of the day, it was Beyond Possible playing against Ouya Gaming in the final. One Hit Wonder didn't manage to win that game. Same goes for Pitstop, but it has some interesting stats prepared for you. So Beyond Possible are definitely the favorites coming into the Swiss phase, so the next stage of the tournament. I'm gonna quickly mention you the 4 matches they played. So they played an overall of 4 maps. They had Dust 2 finish 16 and 3. They had a win on Overpass, finishing 16 and 10. They had a win on Inferno, finishing 16 and 8. And finally, on Inferno, destroying Ouya Gaming, finishing 16 and 2. Like, those guys are really solid. Like, Rockin' J is the top fragger of the tournament. He finished the top fragger in 3 out of the 4 games played. He averaged a 2.48 KD, which is the highest KD average on his team. He had the most multi-kills in the entire tournament. He had 4 triple kills and several quad kills, and has the highest win rate among the teams. So the overall picture for Rockin' J is actually really solid. We have also Some other players that stepped up, as I mentioned, we had Spellen showing a really nice performance, Raftu as well, and overall, I think this was one of the teams that was expected to win the Open Qualifier, right? 4 of the 5 players actually played in the main event last year, so they already had the experience. They already know what it feels like playing on the main stage. And this is also the team with the most amount of games played. Out of all the teams coming into the Open Qualifier, they have a total of 24,126 games played. Like, this is an insane number. Like, this is so much CS played between those 5 players that is just like crazy when you think about one single game actually lasts for at least, I would say, what, 20 something rounds, which in terms of real life time is like an hour, right? And they played 24,126 games. You can imagine how much time this is, right? And also, considering the amount of games they played, they have the highest KD ratio on average. Considering the amount of games they played, out of all the teams, they have a total of 1.226 KD ratio. Like, those guys are insane. Have a look on them. I think they will perform really well also in the next stage, and I think we'll see them in the international stage. Okay, now we talked about Beyond Possible, but now it's time to actually have a look at also the second place team, which is Ouya Gaming. Now, obviously, Ouya Gaming, as you can see, they lost the final 2-16 to Beyond Possible. Honestly, they didn't have the best game of their lives, right? You can see Hazel actually underperforming, Hypnotic really shaky, Ventislav, we saw that he had the highest amount of kills in a single game in the tournament, this time finishing 8-1 and 18, right? But this is also one of the teams that I thought has a really good potential moving into the next stage. Once again, they played 3 Infernos and 1 Mirage. Their only loss in the tournament so far has been the Inferno, which you can see on your display. And I think the man to be watching in the next stage of the next phase of the tournament will be Ventislav. As I said, he peaked, put a record for the tournament with 37 kills against Maze Esports. He had 3 quad kills and 4 triple kills in all matches so far, and he has a combined KD ratio of 1.4025, which is the highest KD ratio for his team. Well, I think, yes, the team finished on the second place here, but I think we want to see more from Ouya Gaming. I think that other members looked good, apart from Ventislav, but they have to step up if they want to actually move further into the main event, right? Because this is a good team, but they just lack some, I would say, coordination. They lack some team spirit, right? And obviously Ventislav has to be supported by the rest of the guys, because if this doesn't happen, then obviously, they will not make it any further. Now, with regards to the third and the fourth seeded teams, we have one hit wonder. They played an overall of 3 maps, 2 Mirages and 1 nuke. They lost the Mirage game against Beyond Possible 12-16. This team is good. I think they have a lot of potential coming out of the first Open Qualifier, because they have some, I would say, good players like Sounder, who is the 81st player in Bulgaria, and we have Icebox, which is in the top 100 players in Bulgaria as well. Overall, when you look at their stats, now I'm looking down because I have a list of the stats of the players. Some of them have played a lot of games, right? For example, Fob has 5,050 games with a really solid 51% win rate. We have Ghost Lister with 5,483 games and also 51% win rate. As I mentioned, Sounder with 7,500 games and Icebox with 2,800 games. But obviously, they sometimes cannot land their shots. I felt like some of the positions they were holding were not, I would say, coordinated enough with the rest of the team. I think they need to step their game up if they want to actually make it out of the next stage, because otherwise I think we'll see this team somewhere around the middle of the table. They'll probably go, I would say, 2-2, maybe 1-2, and then will really be depending on the rest of the teams and how they play, if one mother will actually make it or not. And now the final team we have finishing on the fourth place is Pitstop. So Pitstop has actually some really solid players. They have Zorko, which is the 57th best player in Bulgaria. We have Goshu Zvera, which I mentioned played last year in the main event of A1 Bulgaria. They have Krip, Tech, and Niku. Overall, on paper, that's a really solid team. They actually average a really nice KD of around 1.10 for the team. Their most played map is actually Mirage, and actually the stats of the players are quite nice. I think the majority of them average above 52% win rate, but it was simply not enough against Oya Gaming. I think that Pistop as a team actually surprised me. I mentioned that they were a good team, but they were saying that they will play for fun, and making it to the main event in just the first open qualifier is actually a huge success for them. Yeah, obviously they fell short, but still, Crip had a really solid tournament, putting up a 2.4 and 3.0 KD in the first two games. But unfortunately, against Oya Gaming, he was not really on point. I'm gonna quickly show you the board. You can see he finished 14, 2, and 26. Obviously, playing really badly in terms of the standards which he showed in the first two games. Yeah, Goshus Vera actually, as I said, was the one player to keep an eye on. Even in the loss, he actually put up a really decent performance, finishing 24-1 and 19, averaging 1.26 KD and above 50% headshot rate. So this guy, as I mentioned earlier, is really hungry to win, really hungry to prove himself and show why he's actually one of the best after last year's failure. And the third player that actually had a really nice performance this tournament was Zorko. He actually averaged 1.63 KD in the last couple of games, and actually had above 20 kills every single game, which shows that Pitstop, apart from failing into making it to, apart from Pitstop failing to make it to the finals, they are a really good team, and yeah, I'll keep my eyes on them as the underdogs coming into the next phase. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of the A1 Gaming League Open Qualifier number 1. Subscribe to my channel if you like the content. Put the thumbs up, leave me a comment on the areas in which I can improve, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day.